Okay, that's good. Yesterday we discussed about how to create Eureka server as a Spring Boot project. All we need to do is two things. In fact, three things. Number one, create project adding Spring Boot Eureka server starter. On the main class, enable @Eureka server. Number three, some default properties are inherited from parent project, that is Spring Cloud project. Okay, which says this project is a microservice registered with Eureka server, which says this project is a microservice fetch from Eureka server. But when you are developing Eureka server, treating that one as microservice and saying it is registerable with what? Eureka server, it is fetchable from Eureka server is meaningless. That's why we have to disable those two properties are not there. What are those two properties? Eureka dot client dot register with Eureka server is equal to false. Eureka dot client dot fetch registry is equal to false. So in both sides, you have to write false messages are not there, guys. One is register with Eureka, other one is what? Fetch registry Eureka, both things. Today our agenda is keeping our project, developing one microservice, one simple dummy microservice, and registering with Eureka server and executing that Eureka server. Executing that microservice, nothing but testing that microservice. Microservice is nothing but RESTful web service, nothing but API, right? So by sending requests from what? Different types of client. First we'll send from browser, then we will try to send from what? Postman tool. Because microservice is RESTful web service, guys. It can be tested either from Postman or browser. If it is get mode endpoint, browser is efficient. If it is a different modes of endpoint, you have to take the support of what? Postman kind of tool. What kind of tool you have to take? Postman kind of tool. Okay, that's good. Let's see. File open class content Spring in NTSP 1104 Spring Cloud microservices. Spring Cloud microservices. Tell me next one. Session number 4 only, still not completed. No, 4 still not complete. 4 only, Eureka server. Yeah, we discussed about it. 8761 is not default port number for Eureka server. 8080 is default port number for Eureka server. 8761 is recommended port number for Eureka server because we need not to specify 8761 port number in MS project while registering them with what? Eureka server. Only when port number is what? 8761. And moreover, documentation also recommends that. That's why I are preferring that. See, microservice 1 is registered, microservice 2 is registered, microservice is what? 3 is registered. The process of keeping microservice details in Eureka server is called register, guys. The way we get the details, from the Eureka server to make that microservice talking to what? Another microservice is called as what? Discover operation. What operation? Discover operation. Tomcat is web server or application server where we deploy and manage web application. Eureka is R&D server where microservice will be registered and what? Discovered. Eureka server internally uses Tomcat platform to behave like server, but it is a different server for a different purpose. Microservice needs both. Microservice uses Eureka server for registration and same microservice uses, come on, right guys, same microservice uses What is there? Tomcat server or any other web server or application server for managing and executing the resources, right? Yes. Every MS needs what, guys? Every MS needs, what is that? Every MS needs. Tell me, what is the story to focus, guys? Come on. Every MS needs Eureka server. Okay, for registering and discovering the MS. Every MS needs, every MS needs web server or application server like Tomcat server for deploying, managing, and what? Executing the MS. Deploying, managing, and executing the MS. Got it, guys? Right. Can we run Spring Boot without application.properties or what? YML? Yes, possible. Only basic application. In all advanced module application, we need the support of what? Application.properties or YML file. In Windows OS, how can we find out which port number is busy, which port number is free? Okay, netstat-a. When I use that command, I'll get all the port numbers, guys. I get all the port numbers. Right. And here you go to command prompt. Netstat-a. In this list, you observe very carefully, there is no 8761. Why? Because my Eureka server is still not started. Now let me start the Eureka server here, guys. File, where is this? Switch workspace, where is that? 1104. Yeah, now let me run here. Let me run Spring Boot project folder. Where is that? Let me run here. Let me run here. Where is that? Boot REST pros consumer application. First REST API, boot REST pros, boot MS pros. Where is that MS? Yeah, this is our Eureka server. That this. Right click. Run as Java application. That's good. This is my what? Boot MS pros 01 Eureka server. That's good. Now tell me 8761 Right now, no instances are registered. Okay. Now you observe the situation. At this, what is this? Netstat -A. Netstat -A. 8761 is busy na, boss? Yeah, that's good. Why 8761 is the recommended port number for Netflix Eureka R&D server? If the port number of Eureka server, you need not to specify port number in microservice project registration URL. In order to register them with what? R&D server. We say like that, guys, but that is not technical reason. In the documentation they have given, that's why we are following it, right? Okay. We'll ask, why does 8761 is the recommended port number for, what is there? Recommended port number for, what is this? Netflix Eureka. Netflix Eureka server. Mainly because it's a conventional default port is used in Spring Boot example ecosystem. It is not special port required by Eureka server. Spring Cloud documentation explicitly uses what? 8761 for standalone this one. Clients commonly point toward this. Client commonly point. Okay. 8761 is the convention. Eureka server. Spring Cloud example. The next example server dot port number is this. Client configuration. Yes. Easy identification. Service registry and all this stuff. Avoids common application port. It avoids conflicts, guys. No protocol requirement. Eureka communicates that there is no need of mentioning protocol. Can be changed. If you are interested, you can change to some other thing. If you are interested, you can happily change to what? Some other thing. So 87 recommended, not mandatory. It's a recommended mainly because it become conventional or default port used in what? Netflix example and ecosystem. But it is not special port required by what? Eureka. Spring Cloud documentation explicitly uses what? This. So people are habituated, that's why are using. Why Windows? It's not because it's a great operating system. Compared to Windows, Linux, Ubuntu is really doing well. But still Windows is popular because people are habituated with Windows. Yes, na boss? Certain old heroes in Bollywood and any industry, they are not great looking people. They are not great dancing people, dancers. They are not great actors. Somehow at that time, people accepted them and they are running the story, right? They are what? Basically running the story. The same concept over here, right? Okay. These are Java stable versions, guys. 8, 11, 17, 21, 25. These are the recommended Java stable versions. LTS support, long time support versions. Say paste. Easy identification, avoids common application ports, no protocol requirement, can be changed. You can change to wherever you want. Is a recommended, not a mandatory. It is not even default. Default is what? 8080. You want to feel either it is running on default port number in worst case. Problem is 8080 is already occupied in my computer for Oracle related services, right? Check it out. Stop this. It's been stopped. Right click, run as Java application. Already it is busy, na? 8080 is busy. That's why it is not able to start. Okay, I can give any other port number, 8999. Save this. Right click, tell me, run as Java application. What is there? Run as Java application. 8999. Enter key. What is the story to focus, guys? 8999. This is the enter key. Okay. Yeah, but what is the recommended port number, guys? The recommended port number is what? 8761. What's the recommended port number? 8761. That's good. Fine. Spring 1104. Tell me. Spring, what is there? 1104. Spring Cloud microservices. I will go for session number 5 because now my task is publishing the microservice in what? Eureka server. Check it out. Every MS must be published or registered with what? Eureka server, R&D server by becoming Eureka client. We need to develop microservice as what? Spring REST controller, adding the support. Okay, adding the support of @enable Eureka client. Okay, one is enable Eureka client, other one is what? Discovery client. It is 2.x, it is what? 3.x. That's good. Tell me. Search service is a microservice. Discovery client is there. It will be registered here. Second one registered here. Third one registered here. Like this, multiple services will be registered here or not there. Definitely multiple services will be registered here. Right. Tell me. Every MS that will be published in Eureka R&D server is technically called what? Eureka client or Eureka discovery client. Netflix Eureka R&D server is called what? No document server, because at max it will maintain the service instance of registered microservice and does not maintain any docs related to that. The regular REST controller REST service that is taken as what? Eureka client and registered with Eureka server is called as what? A RESTful microservice. What service, guys? Okay, next one. Spring Cloud, Spring Boot Cloud is a module in Spring Boot framework that gives set of tools and what? Libraries to develop the microservice architecture based on what? Applications and projects. Okay. Procedure for MS development and publishing it to what? Eureka R&D server. What server, guys? Eureka R&D server. This is my requirement. Eureka R&D server. Okay. First we'll develop, then we will go for it. Yes, actually I have to now in microservice architecture, every project will have multiple microservices. That's why what I do is second project means It's Eureka server, it's microservice 1, it's microservice 2. Everything I will try to take pros 2, pros 2, pros 2. All pros 2 numbers are 1 unit. Because every microservice project will have a multiple projects, right guys? Okay. So keeping newcomers in mind, okay, and for better practice, again I'll create Eureka server. Again, then I will develop one microservice. There in the new Eureka server, I want to register what? My microservice. Actually, I can take a copy of this, but I'm not interested because first time, na initial days, na once again I want to create what? Eureka server. But this time it does not take much time, guys, because we already have a knowledge on it. Okay, Spring Starter project, my dear. Spring Starter project, boot MS Pros 2. What server? Eureka server. What server? Eureka server. Next, not Lambak API. I have to add Eureka server. Eureka server. Say next. Eureka server. Tell me. com.nt Eureka server application. That's good. At the rate, what is there? Eureka server. Enable you. What is this? Application dot properties. What dot properties, guys? Application dot properties. Boot MS Pros to Eureka server application dot what? Properties. Yeah, tell me. Server port. Server port 876. Make sure that this project will not be treated as microservice. What is there? Eureka dot client dot register with Eureka. Client dot fetch register. Fetch registry false. Eureka dot client dot register with Eureka false. Eureka dot client dot fetch registry false. Are you getting my point, my dear? Come on. Yes, that's great. Server dot port 8761. This is done. Okay, now let me check whether this Eureka server is running or not. Second one, run as a Java application. Second one, run as a Java application. Run as a Java application. Localhost 876. Localhost 8761. So we got it or not there? So now I would like to develop one microservice and I want to register that microservice with what? This. When this is a Eureka server, I'm trying to register every microservice with what? Eureka server. Can we call microservice as a Eureka client? Come on. Okay, to tell that it is not Eureka server, it is a Eureka client. Up in old version, @ enable Eureka client. But now at the rate enable Eureka client is deprecated. In that place, we have got at the rate enable discovery client. And the starter that we need to add is also discovery client. So to tell that it is a microservice come discovery client, you have to add two starter. To make it microservice, web starter only you have to add because RESTful web service. But to tell that it is not a regular RESTful web service, it is what? Client to Eureka server, it will be registered Eureka server. Then we have to add what? At the rate Eureka client. What is the annotation we should add, guys? At the rate enable Eureka client. Okay, that's good. Boot MS Pros to Eureka server. That's great. File, new. What is this? Spring Starter project. What is there? Spring Starter project. Boot MS Pros 2. What is there? No, 2 only. Okay. Wish MS, some microservice, guys. Say next. Web module. Then what is there? Okay, Eureka discovery client. Eureka discovery client. Yes. This is web module, Eureka discovery client. Say next. Say finish. Yeah. What is that wish message? Tell me, first of all, what should I do? Enable Eureka client. Enable Eureka discovery client. Enable discovery client. Go to application.properties, guys. Okay, application name. Application name. Array, this becomes service ID. Application name becomes what? Service. Service ID. Tell me. MS port number. That means this time web starter added an embedded Tomcat port number. MS port number, right? Yeah. Tell me, server dot port 9091. Register the MS with, okay, what server? Eureka server. Register the MS with what? Eureka server. Okay, let's see. Eureka dot client dot. Okay, what is that? Eureka dot client dot service URL dot. What is there? Default hyphen zone. Eureka dot client dot service hyphen default hyphen zone. You have to tell the URL using which we have to register this microservice with Eureka server. Yeah, http://localhost 8761 is there 87/Eureka. This is the URL that we have to use to register. This is the URL that I have to use to register. What is there? Eureka microservice with Eureka server. See, 8761 is a port number of Eureka server now, boss. If you take something else, that port number, and /Eureka is the fixed path. Right. So this registration makes normal web service as RESTful API as a microservice. Okay, right. But we have to think about developing a microservice or not there, guys. Right click, new package, com.nt.ms, com.nt.ms class. Wish operations API. What are guys? Wish operations API. Finish. Wish operations API MS. Wish operations API MS. That's good. Wish operations API MS. Wish operations API MS. So first of all, what should I do? REST control. Next, what should I do? Request mapping slash wish API slash wish API public response entity string. What is there? Public response entity string. Show wish message. @get mapping. What's there? @get mapping. Okay. Some message. Yeah. I don't want to write any serious logic, guys. I just want to return good morning. Okay. Now, when we meet anyone for the first time, it's better to say what? Good morning. Right. Return new response entity. Return new response entity. Return new response entity. What is there? Good. Here I am going to give HTTP status dot response entity string. That's good. Response entity string. Is that clear, my dear? Come on. Yes, that's great. Yes, guys. Tell me, one side Eureka server, one side what? Vishay. One side Eureka server, one side what? Wish MS. That's fine. Wish MS, other side what? Eureka server. So these are the things that we are having or not there, guys. Yeah, first let me keep this Eureka server in running mode. Let me keep this Eureka server in running. Run as a Java application. What is there? Run as a Java application. That's good. This is my what? Wish MS. Right click, run as Java application. First confirm whether it is registered in Eureka server or not. I'm confirming yes, it is registered in what? Eureka server. It is definitely registered in what? Eureka server. That's good. Okay. No doubt in that. Yeah. It is definitely registered in what? Eureka server, no doubt in that. Click on it, guys. Click on it. It's having its own URL 9091. Okay, then what is there? Wish API. Then what is there? Message. We are getting it or not there. That means RESTful microservice is nothing but RESTful web service. But that one that is registered with what? Eureka. It is the one that is registered with what? Eureka, sir. No, no, sir. I want to test it from what? Postman tool. Go for it. I want to test it from what? Postman tool. Go for it. Everything is RESTful web service. Only the thing is registration part is extra. Yes. Okay. Now let's go for 1104. There. Tell me. Collection. 1104. Tell me. MS Pros 01. What is there? 1104. MS Pros 01. 1104 MS Pros 01. Add request. What is there? Request one. Get mode request only, guys. What is there? 9091. 9091. Wish API / message. Here is the good morning message or not there. Okay, fine. Okay, now you want to give context path for the application. Say, if you are looking to give what? Context path for the application. Server.servlet.context. REST pros 01. I'm taking that one as what? Context path. Fine. Everything is stopped, guys. I'm taking what? Eureka server first. I'm running the Eureka server first. Run as Java application. Run as Java application. Wish MS. I'm also running the microservice. When we run, it is automatically registered, nothing else. When we run, it is automatically what? Registered. 9091 Wish API. 9091, what is there? Wish API. Speak out, guys. 9091 Wish API. Wish API message. But I have taken what, guys? REST pros 01. We're getting good morning message. Context path is taken. Tell me next one. Okay, what is there? REST pros 01 / message. Oh, error has come. Okay, what is there? First. REST pros 01 Wish API / message. Here is the good morning message or not there? Here is the good morning message. That's fine. Okay. Localhost 9091 REST pros 01 Wish API message. So these are the various things that we are looking for are not there, guys. Okay. That's great. Microservice is equal to, tell me, REST controller class enabled with what? Eureka client or discovery client. Old version enable Eureka client. Nowadays what? Discovery client. Okay. Now listen. This is a single instance of microservice. I want to create multiple instance of microservice, right? Your procedure is there, guys. If you're planning to create multiple instances for MS on different port number, it's recommended not to add dev tools. Why? When you add dev tools, what happens, guys? The changes will reflect in the existing instance only. So no question of having new port number for new instance, right? That's why. To make REST controller as MS, in Spring Boot 2.x, use enable Eureka client. In 3.x, enable discovery. One is enable Eureka client, other one is what? Discovery. That's good. Okay, slash Eureka, develop REST controller representing the microservice. We can register same multiple instance of same or different microservice with Eureka server. For single instance registration, the service ID becomes what? An instance ID, and while working with multiple instances, we generate what? Instance IDs dynamically. We try to generate what, guys? Instance IDs dynamically. We simply try to generate what? Instance IDs dynamic. Okay. So only one instance, guys. When you after registration offer, you observe Eureka server refresh application MS. Okay, this wish MS. Okay, now what happened? Service ID is becoming instance ID or not? Service ID has become what? Instance. Okay, now my requirement is, see this. If register only one instance of MS project with Eureka server, then the service ID or name of the project becomes what? Instance. If you are planning to register multiple instances of MS with Eureka server, then we need to place what? Special entries in application.properties file for MS project to generate what? Instance IDs randomly. To simply generate what, guys? Instance IDs randomly. Are you getting my point, my dear? Come on. Yes. To simply literally generate what? Instance IDs randomly. Okay, that's good. Okay, great. If you are planning to do this, if you are planning to register with multiple instances of MS with Eureka server, then we need to place special entries in application.property file for MS project to generate what? Instance IDs randomly. Clear, my dear? Got it? Yes. Okay. Eureka URL given application.property, MS will be registered with automatically. That's fine. Now I'm interested to have multiple instances, guys. I'm interested to have what? Multiple instances. How do you create multiple instances of one microservice? Very simple. Change the port number, run the same MS application one more time. You run for 3 times, 3 instances, but different port number. Otherwise, port number clash may come or not there. If we try to use same port number, there is a chance of getting what? Port number clash. You want port number clash or you don't want port number clash? Yeah, definitely I don't want what? Port number clash. Then what should I do? Then what should I do? Definitely I have to change the port number or not there. Already one instance is there. I'm taking 9092. I'm taking 9092. What happened to this array? Save this, run this application. Run as, what is there? Java. Okay, I'm taking one more port number. Save this. DevTools is not added, guys. Run as Java application. Run as what? Java application. Now you look at the Eureka server, guys. Total how many instances are registered? 1, 9092, through 9091, 9092. And I can test everything. Every instance is separate project now, boss. 90931 you take. Some default URL has come. Forget about that. What is there? Wish API message. Output is coming. Output is coming. Come on. 9092. Wish API message. Good morning. Wish API message. Good morning. Okay. We're able to get the output nicely or not there, guys? We are happily able to get the output. Okay, 1206. This is what we need to focus, guys. Come on, everyone. Yes. So like this, we can create one instance or multiple instances. Yes, definitely we can create what? Multiple instances. Are you understanding my statement, my dear? Come on. Yes. That's good. Great. Fantastic. Develop MS having instance ID in application.properties. Develop the REST controller class as the microservice. Run Eureka server multiple time, launch and observe the Eureka server console, right? Yes. Like this, we got multiple instances now. About what I'm interested, I want to provide instance IDs. Okay, this is service ID, na? Now I want to have my own combination instance ID, right? Okay. That too by involving some random number. What is there? Instance ID. Spring dot application dot instance hyphen ID. Spring dot application dot instance hyphen ID. Array, this is not fixed, guys. My choice only. Okay. First, what is there? Dollar placeholder, guys. Spring dot application dot name. What is there? Spring dot application dot name colon. What's happening? Spring dot application dot name. What is there? Colon. Tell me. Dollar floor bracket. Dollar floor bracket. Spring random dot value. What dot value? Otherwise, first we will go for port. Port colon dollar random dot value. Spring dot application dot name colon server dot port colon random dot value. We are ready with this or not there, guys? We are definitely ready with this. Here is what? MS port number. That's good. MS port number, that's good. Tell me. Okay, this is their boss. Boot MS pros to wish MS. Okay. Boot MS pros to wish MS. 90938761 Eureka REST pros 01. Right. Now I want to have multiple instances. That instance. But which request is coming from which instance? How do we know? That's why what I do is I'll try to display that. Array, which output is coming from which instance? Really, we cannot feel it now, boss. That's why private string instance ID. Private string instance ID. At the rate value. Floor bracket opening and what closing. Spring dot application dot. Okay, where is that? Spring dot application dot instance hyphen ID. Spring dot application instance hyphen ID. Okay, already there are fine. Some keys are already. Instance hyphen ID. Okay, that's fine. I just want to interested from which instance the output is. Fine. So we can generate instance ID combination of our choice data, and I want to check. Okay, now check it out. First, you go to Eureka server. That's great. Right click. Run as Java application. What is there? Run as a Java application. Run as a Java application. Wish MS. Right click, guys. Run as a Java application. First instance. First instance is running on which port number? 9093. Save this. Now let me start the next instance. Run as a Java application. That's good. Here is what? 9091. Run as a Java application. That is there. Tell me. Wish API / message. Enter key. Good morning. It is coming from 9092. You go next request. Okay, because we have fixed number. Okay. Now let me check. "9091. That means like this multiple instances are generated or not there. 9093. Okay. All right. Total how many instances are there? 3. How can you say 3 instances are there? Observe. Yeah. First one, second one, third one. Because I run the application for multiple time, but different port numbers, right? Okay. Now let me explain what is the problem of taking dev tools. While developing microservice, if you have a planning of creating multiple instances, by mistake also don't add dev tools. In any angle also don't try to add what? Dev tool. If you add dev tools, the problem will be raised. Check it out. Okay. Wantedly I'm adding dev tools, guys. See the problem first. Spring, guys. Add dev tools. Spring, guys, add dev tools. That's fantastic. Spring add dev tools. Tell me. Now I'll start the Eureka server here. where people are living one by one, guys. Right click, tell me, run on Java. Now again, we are ready with Eureka server. Come on. This is very important. Generally, everywhere else, DevTools is recommended to add. But when you are working with the microservices, especially if we decided to take what? Multiple instances, same microservice, it is never encouraged to add what? DevTools. See, feel the problem now. Okay, now in which way MS DevTools is added, right? Right click, tell me, run as what? Java. Right click, what is there? Run as what? Java application. Yeah, that's great. Run as Java application. Now I'm changing port number to 9092. I have a plan of taking another port number. But observe very carefully, existing system port number only changed and application is rebooted or not there. You observe this. See, we have single instance running on 9092. Okay, now I changed this one to 9091. Does it allow me to create a new instance or it will modify existing instance port number? It is modifying existing instance port number. Check it out. What's the number I have changed? 9091. Okay, and I'm giving 9093. Okay, save this. Come here, say refresh. Is it changing existing instance port number or not there? Is there any chance of taking multiple instances? But still I'm taking, still I'm trying to take 9092, save it, right click, run as Java application. You will get scolding saying that port number is having clash. Port number is having what? Clash. Already in use kind of clash. See, second one is okay. Third one, error has come. 9092 is already in use or not there, guys. So why this problem came? Problem came because of what? Dev tools. This problem arisen because of what? Dev tool. Everyone getting my point, my dear? Okay, now I want to remove the dev tools. Spring. Where is this? Remove dev tool. There is no need of removing it what? Manually. There is no necessity of what? Removing it manually. There's a shortcut to remove what? Dev tools. Okay. After that, you observe the same situation, guys. After that, you observe it. Here is what? Eureka server. That's good. com.nt. That's fine. Right click. Run as what? Java application. Yeah, that's great. 8761 Eureka REST process 01. Yeah, server port number 9092 slash Eureka REST process what? 01. That's great. This is my Eureka server. This is my Wish MS. Right click, run as Java application. Okay, 8761. Where is this, guys? 9092. It is 9092. Okay, I would like to create one more instance. 9091. Let's run the application again. Run as a Java application. Look at the Eureka server. The moment I removed DevTools, problem got solved or not there? Why? The moment I removed DevTools, happily the problem is solved. Did you realize that, guys? Okay. Here, how to create multiple instances we discuss. Run the Eureka server. Run what? MS project for multiple time, but change the MS port number every time. 4041, 42, etc. Launch and observe the Eureka server console. Launch and observe the Eureka server console. But now I am going to ask, while creating microservice project, why it is not recommended to add? Why it is not recommended to add DevTools starter? Why does it is not recommended to add DevTools starter? Yes, you are not supposed. Why it is not recommended to add what? DevTools starter. Yeah. Yeah, what is this? Let's focus. Here is my, yeah, 1 minute. We'll ask the same query here. Why does, no, why does DevTools starter is not recommended to add? Recommended to add in microservices project. What project, guys? Microservices project. Deployment only tool, automatic restart, remote restart. Okay, one by. Deployment only tool. Spring Boot DevTools is designed to improve what? Local deployment, not production runtime. Automatic restart. DevTools watches class path changes and restart the application. In microservice environment, frequent automatic restarts can be undesirable. Remote start features. DevTools has remote deployment start capabilities to include unnecessarily what? Security concern. Array, one live server will be started, their changes will reflect or not there. Containerization and deployment. Microservices are commonly packaged into Docker images. Okay. DevTools provide little value inside an immutable production container. Performance overhead. File or class path monitoring, restart mechanism, add unnecessarily runtime overhead. Distribute environment. With a 10-15 microservice, automatic restart can make troubling and service to service behavior header to understand, right? Yes. Production stability. Production service should not start once, run periodically, and be restarted by deployment, orchestration platform when necessary. CI/CD principle. Tools such as Kubernetes, Docker, Jenkins, etc. should manage and deploy the restart behavior rather than what? DevTool. Those should manage, not the DevTools. Restart should not be done by you, it should be done by. Actually, Spring Boot is not forbidden microservice project. The recommendation is mainly not to include in production deployment. not to include in what production, especially when you are taking multiple instances. This is very bad practice are not there. Come on. This is one mistake what we do. After learning in MVC classes, continued in RESTful web service, we also try to continue in microservice. But adding dev tools is not advantage, is definitely what? Disadvantage. See, if we write the point with one angle, ChatGPT will give multiple other reasons for the same. Okay. ChatGPT will give different reasons for the same. CI/CD principle means it's a purely Jenkins related principle. It's purely literally what principle, guys? A Jenkins related principle. Yes, guys. Rest pros 01. That's good, great, fantastic. Yeah. Now I want to run this microservice through Swagger documentation. Okay, na? So how to add Swagger documentation? In OpenAPI or Swagger 3, all we need to do is adding one jar file, right? All we need to do is adding one jar file. Let's add that jar file. Yeah. What is this? OpenAPI related jar is there now, guys. Okay. mvnrepository.com. mvnrepository.com. What is that? Open Spring Doc Open API. This one, na? Spring Doc Open API UI. Okay. Maven one. Select this. Paste it. Spring Dot Open API Starter WebMVC UI. That's it. No need of annotations, nothing, guys. You just add the starter, documentation will be ready. First, can we run the microservice without registering with Eureka server? No. Can we run the microservice without running the Eureka server? No. Error will come. You try. You try. You try. Right click, run as Java. I'm trying to start the microservice. I'm trying to start the microservice without what? This. We're getting red mark here or not there? Say something, guys. We are getting definitely red mark over here or not? We're definitely getting what? Red mark there. Red mark means it is saying not possible. Why? There is a URL to connect to Eureka server. Definitely error will come or not there. That's great. Tell me, where is this? Eureka server. That's fine. com.nt. This. Right click, run on Java application. This is what? Eureka server. This is definitely what, guys? Eureka server. Now I will run the Vishware MS. Right
నాకెలా
click,
చెప్తున్నా
run as Java.
డబ్బులు కట్టించుకున్నాడు జాబ్ ఇప్పిస్తానని ఆ తర్వాత ఇవ్వట్లేదు.
Yes, Eureka server, refresh. Okay, click on this. REST-pros 01. What is this? Swagger UI dot h. Yes, documentation has come. Yes, only one endpoint is there. Try it out. Execute. We are going to get good morning message. Yes. Good morning message along with the instance ID is coming or not? We are happily getting good morning message along with what? Instance. Okay, tell me. In how many ways? In how many ways we can test the endpoints of microservices? We can test the endpoints of the microservices. A, using browser. B, A, using what? Browser. Tell me next one. Using Postman. C, what is there? Using Postman, using the Swagger, which is also called what? OpenAPI. Which is also called OpenAPI. These are the three options are there or not there, guys? Okay. Next, what is the one I want? What is the difference between service ID, instance ID? What is the difference between what? Service ID and what? Instance. What's the difference between service ID and what? Instance. This is this. What is the difference between service ID and what? Instance. Yeah, meaning identifies microservice or application, identifies specific running instance of that microservice. Example, payment service. Example what? Payment service, port number, some random number. Scope, logical service, physical running instance. Changes when scaling? No. Yes. For every instance, for all instances, same service ID. For different instances, different. Number, usually one per microservice, multiple per microservice. Next, used for service discovery and load balancing. Selecting or routing to particular instance. Example, order service. Here what? Order service and port number. Eureka server. Application.name generally becomes what? Service ID. Eureka generates and uses what? Instance ID for what? Each application. Simple example. Payment service, that is service ID. Instance 1, instance 2, instance 3. For multiple instance IDs are there or not there? For multiple instances, multiple instance IDs are there or not there, guys? Service ID versus, okay, instance ID. Here is there. Say paste. Service ID versus instance ID. Okay, that's good. Here is my simple example. Here is my simple example. Save this. Yes, boss. Tell me. Let's upload the document. Today we got. But next topic is intra-communication between microservices. How one microservice wants to communicate with what? Another microservice. How one microservice wants to communicate with what? Another microservice. Yeah, tell me next one. 22, 23, 23. This is 23. Tell me. Spring Boot Core, Spring Data, JPA, Spring Boot MVC, Web Boot Flex. What is there? Microservices. Yeah, file upload, class content. Tell me, microservice is interesting or boring? Easy. It's all about registering with microservice, with registering with Eureka server. Any web service or RESTful web service that is registered with what? Eureka server is technically called as what? Microservice. Right. Tell me here, where is this? 1104. Cloud microservices. Session number, how much? 5. Session number, how much? 5, 5, 5. That's good. Fine. Thank you, guys. Have a nice time.